Gentlemen, let's cut through the noise. Most of you are closer than you realize to being the man she can't stop thinking about, the one who lingers in her mind like a half-remembered dream. Not because you're flawless or some unattainable ideal, but because you've got the raw material to ignite something primal in her psyche. The problem? You've been fed a script that's all wrong. You've been told to be the nice guy, the dependable one, always there with a text or a smile. But that's not what sets her soul ablaze. That's not what makes her crave you when the room is quiet and her thoughts wander. This isn't about playing games or morphing into someone you're not. It's about tapping into the deep currents of evolutionary psychology, wielding the subtle art of neuro-linguistic programming, and becoming a man who commands her attention without ever begging for it. This is about crafting a presence so magnetic, she feels it in her bones. So let's unravel the mystery of how to make her yearn for you, not just your touch, but the very essence of who you are, without ever chasing her down. First, let's dismantle the biggest lie you've been sold, that being endlessly available makes you desirable. It doesn't. It makes you predictable, and predictability is the death knell of passion. In the dance of human attraction, rooted in evolutionary wiring, women aren't drawn to comfort alone. Comfort is a warm blanket, not a spark. What sets her heart racing is emotional intensity, a cocktail of anticipation, uncertainty, and challenge that lights up her limbic system like a supernova. When you're always there, always texting back in seconds, always ready to drop everything, you smother the space where desire breathes. You become the safe bet, the fallback, the guy she calls when her phone rings in her ears, not the one she's fantasizing about at 2 a.m. Here's the truth, anchored in evolutionary psychology. Desire thrives on scarcity. Our ancestors fought for resources, for status, for mates. The hard-won prize feels more valuable than the one handed to you on a platter. When you make yourself too accessible, you signal low value, like a resource nobody else is fighting for. But when you create distance, when you let her wonder if she's earned your focus, you trigger her brain's reward system. She starts chasing the dopamine hit of your attention. That's not manipulation, it's biology. Women don't obsess over men who offer safety on a silver tray. They obsess over men who stir something wild and untamed within them, a feeling so electric it's almost dangerous. So, how do you become that man? It starts in her mind, not her body. Seduction is a psychological game, a delicate interplay of signals and subtext that Freud himself would nod at approvingly. Your voice is your first weapon. It's not just what you say. It's how you say it. Lower your pitch, let your words flow from your chest, slow and deliberate, like you're savoring each syllable. This isn't just style, it's neuro-linguistic programming at work. A calm, grounded tone bypasses her conscious filters and speaks directly to her subconscious, signaling confidence, control, and primal strength. She'll feel it before she understands it, like a melody she can't shake. Practice this. Record yourself. Listen. Adjust. Your voice should be a velvet hook, pulling her into your orbit. Then there's eye contact. Not the creepy, unblinking stare, but a gaze that holds hers just a beat longer than feels safe, like you're peering into her soul with a flicker of intent. Let your eyes linger, then break away with a subtle smirk, as if you know something she doesn't. That moment of ambiguity? It's catnip for her imagination. Her brain, wired by evolution to seek high-value partners, will start spinning stories about what you're thinking, what you want. That's where obsession begins. Not in overt moves, but in the spaces between, where her mind fills in the blanks with fantasies she can't control. Now, let's talk about tension, the lifeblood of attraction. You don't need to touch her to make her pulse race. You just need to plant the idea of touch, like a seed that grows in her thoughts. This is where layered language comes in, a technique straight out of NLP. Say something innocent, but with a twist. A comment that could be casual, but in the right moment, with the right tone, it lands like a whispered promise. You look like you're hiding something dangerous behind that smile. Innocent? Maybe. but her mind will twist it into something more. And that's the point. Her imagination becomes your ally, spinning scenarios that keep her up at night. Freud would call this the sublimation of desire, channeling raw instinct into something more potent, more enduring. Here's the kicker: scarcity breeds value. If she knows she can have you whenever she snaps her fingers, the chase is over before it begins. Evolutionary psychology tells us humans crave what's just out of reach. It's why we hunted elusive prey across savannas. Let her feel the weight of your absence sometimes. Don't always text back right away. Have a life, a purpose, a passion that pulls you away from her orbit. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being a man who's whole without her. A man with his own fire signals strength, independence, traits that scream into her subconscious. This is a mate worth pursuing. When she senses your world doesn't revolve around her, being near you feels like a privilege, not a given. That shift flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one chasing. And don't be afraid to keep her guessing. Predictability is the enemy of desire. One moment, you're calm, almost distant, a quiet enigma she can't quite crack. The next, you're bold, playful, teasing her with a spark that catches her off guard. This emotional range, contrast in NLP terms, keeps her amygdala engaged, her emotions ping-ponging between curiosity and excitement. If she's wondering what you'll do next, she's already hooked. She's thinking about you. And when she's thinking, she's feeling. That's the game won. When the time comes for physical connection, don't rush. Patience is power. Let her lean in first. Let her body signal she's ready. A touch on her hand, lingering just a second too long, becomes a question she answers with her reaction. Match her pace. Let the tension build like a slow-burning ember. When you finally escalate, it should feel inevitable, like the crescendo of a symphony you've been conducting since the first word. Because true obsession isn't just about the physical, it's about energy, control, and the allure of the unknown. Here's the heart of it, gentlemen. Obsession isn't about being perfect, it's about being potent. Women aren't starving for compliments or grand gestures. They're starving for presence. A masculine energy that stands firm under pressure, that doesn't grovel for approval, that moves her without needing to explain itself. Freud would say, this is the id at play, the raw, instinctual force beneath our polished surfaces. Build that energy by knowing who you are, what you stand for, what you won't tolerate. Carry that into every room, and she won't just want you. She'll dream of you when she's with someone else. She'll reread your texts, hoping for another. Your name will spark a shiver she can't explain. So, stop focusing on what you can do to win her. Become the man she can't stop thinking about, even when she tries. You don't need to chase. You just need to embody a presence so vivid, so unshakable, she's drawn to you like a moth to flame. Master this, and she won't just crave your touch. She'll ache for your essence, your voice, your gaze, and when she's with someone else, they'll never measure up, because you're not just a man, you're a force. Now go live it.